started yet? Because listen,
Yeah, we've been started. I'm just sitting here to let you go on your little tangent.
I'm done. We
Because
good.
Miss Thickums laughing at you.
Yeah, I wasn't even saying nothing.
You wasn't saying nothing. You was saying an awful
Not,
lot.
I didn't. I don't even talk like that. It was kind of. I'm quiet in my corner. Welcome to Life According to Uncle Tuck. Let's intro this. Listen, welcome to Life According to Uncle Tuck, good people. Guess where we are today? We are going to go in because he's going to let me talk myself into some shit. So I'm just going to this ain't even. So listen, welcome to Life According to Uncle Tuck. I am GDash. He is Uncle Tuck. Wrong way. All right. Uncle Tuck, there it is. Okay, see now I'm getting it together. Okay, he is Uncle Tuck. I'm GDash, and today we are going to talk about cancel culture. But first, how was your week been, sir?
My week's been good, man. It's actually
Yeah,
been very busy and very productive.
busy and productive feels good. Like, cause when you that means you accomplish it. So like you be like, I ain't got no time, blah, blah, but then you get stuff done and you feel good. That's what's
And it
up.
do feel good to get shit done. It
Yeah,
does.
yeah,
But how was your
yeah.
week, man?
My week was cool, busy as well. Like, I started doing those GDash daily, so I'm trying to get my spoken word in every day, getting back in my groove. Because being away kind of took me away from like just like kind of like some of the book promotional stuff, some of the stuff that I've been trying to build, that I didn't realize and unsolicited. Well, not unsolicited, but I didn't realize the moment away was going to do. Right. And I was like, all right, so I got to kind of get back in my schedule to get things going the way they were supposed to because I wasn't necessarily set up to be out for a week. Okay, in a different state. So
You was in a
and
free
he's
smoking state and couldn't smoke. Well, you don't. Well,
that was a fact. That was a fact. I was in Colorado, and I didn't even get to live the Colorado life. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get to visit. You know, none of those areas and partake in none of those situations. I was dealing with some. I was in a work situation, so you got to be work responsible. You see what I'm saying? That's where that's at. So yeah, but I'm back. You know what I'm saying? So we here now, and that's
just
that.
want to say a quick hello to my homegirl Chantel in the chat, my boy Keith in the chat, and of course my little loud sister Miss Thickums. She's in the chat. So if you keep seeing me look up, it's because I'm switching between Twitch, Facebook, and Twitter chat. So I don't want to miss anybody. If I'm a little late shouting you out, my fault. But
Yeah, and if you don't hear him say it, then I'll probably say it because I'm looking at him too.
yeah. So basically, we're hopping on tonight talking about cancel culture, and G wanted to go with that topic tonight. So that's where we at. So G,
Well,
what's your
listen,
whole
we at that
thoughts on
topic.
it?
I'm gonna tell you right now why I want why it made me think of that topic. I thought about that
Yeah,
topic
do
because we had a
tell.
point in which if you notice maybe every couple months or at least once or twice a year you get somebody else in the news cycle about to get canceled. This one was the baby because he was on stage and listen, he said some things. You know what I'm saying? He was on stage talking about people with
He was going
HIV.
in.
He was going in, talking about the LGBTQ. You got to watch what you say about the Alphabet Boys. They come get you. Listen, they stand together. They play no games. Okay, I don't even know if I'm allowed to call them that. I said that and got nervous. Like, hold on, wait, can I say that? Either way, okay. Did I forget a letter? Let me make sure I'm good because I don't
Damn.
want no problems. But so let me ask you this: but do you believe that cancel culture is real though? Like, do you think that's really a thing? Like, or is it
I mean,
just
it's a
talk?
thing. It's happening, but I think it's more so these. I think it's a lot of the younger audience because I think those of us that came up in the '70s, '80s, and '90s, I think we're like the last three generations that have that tough skin. Like everybody's very, very emotional, and I get it. But if we start canceling people, are we gonna go back and cancel the other ones? Because hell, in my book, Elvis should have been canceled. All the thievery and shit
Okay,
he
okay.
did.
Wait. Before we get there, so you feel like the younger generation is just sensitive, and that's why people get canceled
Well,
now.
not all of them, but it's like a combination of sensitivity and easy access to express yourself. because we got the internet. We didn't have
Okay.
it back then like that. So for us to say, I don't like somebody, it might be in your little circle, but now your circle could be worldwide. You
Mm.
know, it could be worldwide.
I think
So
that
yeah.
yeah. Well, people have a larger reach than they used to, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's true. The reach of the world is a little different, so it kind of works out that way. I do think that, like, well, do you think that some things should be canceled though?
Definitely. I think some things should be canceled, but then who gets to make that decision on what get like who gets canceled? Like what makes me say this is this. Okay. What the baby said and did was wrong. And somebody should check him for it. But these same festivals that was canceling him or kicking him out, they didn't have a problem when he came off with lyrics disrespecting women, glorifying violence and stuff like that. You didn't cancel him then, so you're gonna cancel him because he attacked this one group, but he's been attacking inner cities for the longest. Like a whole bunch of MCs have. A
Wow,
whole
we
bunch of
doing
MCs
that?
have. I mean, really, a whole bunch of MCs have. So, what? Who gets to say what's canceled? Like, I'm not saying what he said is right because it was fucked up. But in the same sentence, when somebody's talking about this, and this, are we canceling? And then actually, I saw this post on Instagram or maybe it's Facebook, one of them, where somebody said, "Okay, we canceling the baby for what he said about the LGBT, but do us heterosexual or cis people get to cancel Lil Nas X?"
Okay, so two different things, right?
I'm just saying. I
Let's
mean,
put
I
that.
could care less, because hey,
But we'll get to that in a second, right?
okay.
Let me go back to the first thought. So in theory, right? Um, when okay, so you said that the baby says a lot of things musically, right? That makes niggas might want to shoot niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Talk about selling dope. You know what I'm saying? Talk about toting guns. All these things negative to the community. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna act like it's not right. However, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, he's on the show because let me back up. The people who he's talking about,
Mm-hmm.
right, in that light on those songs are the same people supporting him. So if we, as a black community, don't seem to have a problem with it, then how can we expect anybody else to be like, whoa, 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 okay,
Okay.
don't be talking about shooting niggas. We be up in here like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I got my own fire. I don't need help in the club. Like we Nuck If You Buck is a Negro spiritual. Like, what is
Yeah.
we doing? Like I'm not sure how I'm supposed to approach that. This is
Mm-hmm.
literally the world we live in for whatever reason. Well, I ain't even gonna say for whatever reason, right? I think the music for the urban world, for like we just watched that battle. Matter of fact, prime example. Nigga, you know how much dope there was a moment when Styles had a whole gang moment, okay, on that
Mm-hmm.
stage. Okay. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? We loved it, ate it up. It's amazing. Like, this is legendary. So I don't know if I'm like, yeah. However, if the LGBTQ says we ain't rolling that way,
They not rolling that way.
they not rolling that way. I don't know if I like. So who do we blame? It's not. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't. It's hard because we accept that. You know what I'm saying?
And what
And we
puzzles me is
always
like,
have.
can't we get beyond this? Like, people just need to accept that it is what it is. I mean, the LGBT, they not going nowhere. They've been here for ages and shit. You know what I mean? And we're not asking, you know, you got to get past whatever their preference is and just like them as people. They just regular people. I mean,
Okay.
shit. It's just I don't know why do we have to have content talking about them and talking about violence when there's so many other things we could talk about? But it seems like you said, that's the shit we support. We support these guys that talk about, getting high, popping pills, fucking bitches, and popping niggas and shit. We support all that.
This is gonna be the one where I get in trouble, huh? So here's my here's my only issue. Let me be careful. Um. So I'll say this, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, Okay, our music is like that because we came from a place where, like in the hood, it came from a place where that's what niggas was doing. Well, listen,
Hmm.
in the early 2000s, right, when it was drug dealer music, right, dope boy music kind of started in the early 90s is when dope boy music really started.
Right.
Maybe late 80s, early 90s. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That's when they started, like in 84, 85, 86. You had your Sugar Hill Gang with your bops. You had your like Houdini. You had your Grandmaster Flash. All that shit. It was cool. It was cool. They was talking about stuff that was happening in the hood. People selling crack. People selling drugs. They was doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like I got the pack on me and I'm about to get rich off of it. Okay. And then the 90s came. And guess what? You had dope boys who came up from the crack era in the 80s talking about what they were doing.
Hmm.
Now, fast forward. Now, niggas gonna talk that like now that stuff has progressed into where we get now, which is a whole pish posh because you get the internet. But I only say that to say that's why we accept it. And some people don't know nothing different. You like, well, why don't they talk about it? Because they don't know shit.
Okay.
Like everybody ain't cultured and worldly, my nigga. Like they be saying, "Hey, ain't got no what do you want from me? Huh? You want me to talk about something else? I don't know nothing but dealing dope and trying to get broads. And most of these rappers is lying about both. Keep it above. They liars,
But
they liars. What
but
are we
my
doing?
whole but just to get back on task, the whole thing with me with the cancel culture, it just seems like it's more exclusive to certain people that other people get like a strict pass or not even glance. Because I mean, I apologize. I don't really follow sports, but I do remember reading something about a white athlete that was beating his wife's
Oh yeah,
ass,
yeah.
and you barely heard a blip about it. But it was a few
Um,
years ago where a black athlete beat his wife's ass, and everybody was in his shit. Like, why do certain people get passes on this? Is it because
okay,
maybe we don't react a certain way? I don't
okay.
get
So,
it. So like I said, I wish
well,
I had the
yes.
names and stuff because like I said, I don't
No,
really follow sports, but I
I got you.
mhm,
I get them for you. I can tell you the black. This is it's messed up that I can tell you the black man, but the black man's name was Ray Rice. Um, yeah, and the white dude whose girl was black, which
mhm,
made it. Well, I shouldn't say that it did, but it was wrong either way. But it was still a mess. I'm gonna say this much: the black football player, there was footage. Whenever there's footage, it's gonna get worse.
mhm,
We also black people don't control the news cycle. We
okay,
don't. So our voice is kind of like it's hard to play that game. So if they are able to bury him versus you know lighting Ray Rice on fire, and I mean, I don't then that's kind of how it is. It's not right, but that's kind of how that happened. Um, and I mean that football player was that I forget his name, but he was brutal. Hold on. But yeah, and I think that that's kind of what that's about. Who has the money,
yeah.
right? Like that's who that is.
Because
They have the money. They control the news cycle.
another thing that always puzzled me and stuff is that it just seems like when it comes to people of color, the news and people in general go harder on them for little indiscretions with other people. Like,
Okay. By the way, his name was Brad Wheeler.
okay,
That was his name. The Caucasian gentleman who the football
and,
player
and
was
and
named
he had a black
Jason.
girlfriore or wife, and he
Yeah,
beat her
yeah, he did.
ass, and we were able to
Yeah.
sweep that on the table like that's on some slavery shit. Like he was just
Okay. So here, so, uh, my only issue is the media swept it under the table. Right. I don't know if he might went to jail. I doubt he has a job. You know what I'm saying? So you're
But what did
right.
the league do? Did the league do anything?
I doubt he's still in the league. Like I highly doubt he's in the league after that. And,
I
yeah,
mean, we
yeah.
canceled Kaepernick, Kaepernick for getting on the knee, but this guy beats human's ass, and it's like, okay, we cool with it. All right, don't worry about it.
Kaepernick did not get canceled. That's not see that see. There's a difference between that's what it is to me. Nah, yeah, this boy ain't got no job. Yeah, he not he have to leave. But uh, there's a difference between
Yeah, Clarence said
the
he's out.
league not hiring.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's out the league. I just looked it up. But there's a difference between saying, okay, well, Kaepernick. I don't think Kaepernick got canceled. I think that the league colluded against Kaepernick, and they did what they did, and he sued them. They got a check. He got a check. He got a million other deals. He's still doing his thing.
Mhm.
That's not canceled to me. R. Kelly is
Okay.
canceled. You see what I'm saying? Like the
Yeah.
world won't speak. It's awkward in certain rooms to bring that man's name up. That's canceled.
It's
Bill
awkward when you
Cosby,
out and you
woo,
hear his
like
music, and
it is.
people's like looking around like who's jamming to it and who's not. Like
Oh, ready to
wow,
judge who's listening to the
right,
canceled guy.
right.
Yeah. See, that's canceled to me. Kaepernick ain't that. Kaepernick, like, he all right. Kaepernick still getting checks. Okay, like you still getting checks. Like Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby is canceled. Should Bill Cosby be canceled?
Yeah,
Okay, all right, all right. Oh, just checking where your temperature at. So you wouldn't? Can you separate the art and the man,
yes,
or do you separate the art?
I do.
Okay, so for you, what does canceled mean? Canceled means you won't listen to anything they do going forward, or
I
you wouldn't
don't follow.
support
I don't
anything they do
really
going
follow the
forward.
cancel culture. It's just like I might not support any future endeavors now that I'm made aware. Like with Bill Cosby, I'm gonna still watch. Well, I just start like we're not even gonna talk about me and the lack of the Cosby Show, but I have watched his
You
specials. I
you
have
never watched the
watched.
Cosby Show?
Nah, nah. I I might have seen maybe a couple snippets, but when the Cosby Show
Mhm.
was popular, I was in a whole different zone and really wasn't
Yeah,
watching TV like that. So I'm familiar with the Cosby Show, but I can honestly say I never watched the episode,
yeah.
but
When
I'm
the Cosby,
familiar with it.
if time gets me together, when the Cosby Show was coming out, you was somewhere being DJ Rush. Like
Yeah, I
that was in the
was.
DJ Rush days of trying to figure
And
that
like I
out.
said, we didn't really have the internet, so I heard people talk about it, but I just nah.
Mm, okay. So
Clarence
then
said,
this so
"You see what Clarence said? How you separate
yeah.
the
How do you
art
separate?
and the man, but don't speak R. Kelly's name." I personally, R. Kelly, what he did, that shit was he needs to be up underneath the jail. But
Okay.
the music, oh man, I guess I'm gonna have to be guilty. I don't seek out his music, but if it comes on, it doesn't bother. It's just
Okay.
the people's like, well, you know what kind of frame of mind when he was writing this. I'm like, yeah, we know because he's exposed, but what about the millions of other people that we follow, support, and watch that we don't know what's going on? Like, well, we're gonna start, you know, pulling everything out the woodwork. Like, the music's music.
Okay. So
R.
so then I
Kelly's the
got a
man.
question.
Just so like this, like this, like it's
Okay.
certain people that I like their body of work, but I probably wouldn't fuck with them directly. Like I still watch Mel Gibson flicks, and knowing that he can have a slight of the tongue and come off a little derogatory to other species and other races. Eh,
Nigga to other race, nigga. He say what he called us a pack of something, wild pack of whatever. Listen, he definitely
I
called us
mean,
niggas and said some crazy shit
yeah,
when his wife was cheating on him
but you
with
know
one
why you know why I personally,
of the kids.
and like I said, it's me personally. I look the other way because I know I'm guilty of saying shit in anger. Like I've called somebody a stupid nigga, and I call somebody you dumb white fucker. I done said that out of anger.
You call it you could call me a stupid nigga right now. It's way different than Mel Gibson saying it to me. Like, come on,
Yeah.
dude. Like we not doing that. I'll say this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that. Oh, matter of fact, let me ask you this before I'm gonna get these comments too. But is you're a DJ?
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing a set, are you putting an R. Kelly song in the set, or are you staying away from R. Kelly in the set as a DJ?
Well, most of R. Kelly's songs I like are slow songs, and I don't really get a chance to play slow songs, so it probably
Nigga, we
would
got
never
a
be
whole
on my
Monday
set.
night. We be rocking out with slow songs. Nigga, don't do that.
Hold on, hold on,
Nope,
hold on,
not
hold
letting
on,
you get away with that one.
hold on, dog. I don't play a lot of slow songs, and you know the slow songs I play aren't R. Kelly-ish. They're more
Oh,
neo
I
soul or
give you
more
that.
jazzes
I give you that.
or
I give
more
you that.
jazz. So
That's true.
yeah, I don't, I ain't playing that. And then his up tempo stuff, I hate line dancing, and a lot of his shit reminds me of line dancing. So I would never play none of
Really?
his up tempo stuff. I hate line dancing with a passion.
Step in the Name of Love is a classic. All right. Anyway, all right.
Yeah,
So
Clarence, you
here's some of
right.
these.
You right, Clarence. I mean, if somebody came up and they asked me to play R. Kelly, I'd probably be like, I ain't got that shit. I ain't got that shit.
For the check.
Yeah.
Listen, for the check, I don't even know who. What really is it? Really Kelly? I don't really know him. Is it? Listen,
Now, if the
is
person
he
writing
new?
the check want to hear R. Kelly, then we gonna hear R. Kelly. That's the
That's a
person that's
fact.
writing the check. But if it's just some random guest, like, oh, can you play? No, nah, I ain't got that. Sorry about that. I left that hard drive
Chantel
home.
said. Chantel said cancel seems to be based on trends of the majority. People were well aware of the behaviors of both of them and ignored it for decades until it became mainstream media. Bam, 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 bam.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But again, okay, so here's the thing, right? It's also about like The R. Kelly situation was mainstream media. We all knew. The trial was on TV. Well, I don't know if the trial itself was on TV, but I remember the trial. I remember the whole thing. Listen, the tape came out. They used to sell it at the DVD stands. Okay, well, not the DVD
Damn.
stands. It was still VHS back
Damn.
then.
You
But they
brought
had him
that
in the
back.
barbershop. It's crazy. It's nuts to think of it that way, but that did happen. It wasn't like it was treated like we didn't know. No, the masses knew, and then still supported him musically afterwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happens is now to your point, you had another generation of people who didn't grow up listening now. The only thing that they grew up listening to him was probably "I Believe I Can Fly." You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? If you was born in 2000s and you was five by the you ain't you know what I mean, like by the time you was five, like he wasn't even hitting like he used to be hitting no more. So you ain't really get that, right? So then they grow. They like, wait, y'all let this nigga get away with this shit? Y'all let him do all of that? Which to your point, if we go back, I go back to listen. Rick James was locked females in the basement. This is
Yeah.
known. He went to jail for it. Don't nobody care. Don't nobody.
Yeah. I ain't
He's
canceling
still
Rick.
famous. Absolutely, he's Rick James. Listen, I promise you, we love him. Okay,
So you feeling
it's
what
amazing.
Chantel said?
I agree. I do think that it's a very mainstream media thing, because the masses have to want to cancel you. Like it would if and let's be clear, R. Kelly had a whole R. Kelly probably had the only documentary that lasted like 10 episodes. It was a miniseries on that man.
Yeah.
It was like they went in for an hour for like 8 episodes, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know any other person who had something like that happen. Like Bill Cosby didn't have. He had a lot. Like he had a bunch of interviews. They was interviewing 102 females at the time. I shouldn't say stuff like that because it's not. They 50 something. I think it was like 50 something. Let me be
Mm-hmm.
closer to accurate with the numbers. But it still was a crazy amount of people, right? A crazy amount of women who saying, "Listen, he did this." But it still was only like in spurts. It wasn't like a mini series. Then let's go back to R. He was in front of Gail King talking about I'm a grown man that loves all women. Like, come on, nigga, you sound creepy.
Yeah.
He had chances to defend himself. He still couldn't do it properly. He was like, nigga, what? You sound creepy. Okay, so oh man, I don't know. I think that I I I, I don't know should I don't know if people should be able to be canceled. Like that stuff should be canceled if you did something, right? And I think that to me, I go with cancel being kind of like, you know, I don't. For me and R. Kelly, there are certain songs that mean more to me than they do to R. Kelly. So they ain't never gonna go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Me and I wish got a personal relationship. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like I wish is a personal song for me. I believe I can fly. That is an amazing record. I got kids. I need them to just, you know what I mean, go there. That's a beautiful record. You know what I mean? He got those records that ain't ever gonna go. You know, remember they tried to cancel Mike? It almost worked.
Mm-hmm.
And again,
Yeah.
Mike's another one.
Yeah.
They've been saying
It
they
just
had
really
those.
seems like whoever the media gets behind, that's what everybody just hops on the bandwagon. Like if it doesn't pick up steam with the media, then it'll just die out and we'll be on to the next fuck up.
I think well again, and I think there's a different I don't think you really get canceled for words. I think people act like they're gonna cancel you for what you said,
Mm-hmm.
but if they enjoy what you do, they're not really gonna cancel you because you said some shit. Like you said, people get angry. You might have said something that you ain't mean to say or that you shouldn't have said, but what did your actions do? You know what I'm saying? Like listen for everything that the baby's going through right now, he's losing a bunch of checks. I think they are kind of making it a media spectacle just to remove him from festivals and take checks away from him. But he'll be fine. The world likes him. They're gonna do it. Like you know, if they like you, you ain't do nothing. We'll find a way to save you. Eminem had probably some of the most grind. And by the way, they did try to cancel Eminem back then. I
Hmm.
remember that. Like they was burning his CDs. They was trying to get rid of him. And then he shows up with Elton John on stage, and they
And
hold
we like, all
hands, and it's
right,
okay.
everything cool now.
Right, absolutely. Listen, you make too much money for us to let you go unless you physically do something. If you don't
Hmm.
physically do nothing, you be alright. You know what I'm saying? Like, say what you want. You gonna lose a couple dollars.
Right.
And okay, here's my theory, right? And I think that's where cancel culture kind of lives in the money, right? Because
Hmm.
people like I'm a big fan of you can say what you want to say, but you gotta deal with the consequences. So
Right.
if that's how you felt, you gotta remember who's paying you. You know what I'm saying? If the baby want to go in somebody from the LGBTQ, he might want to make sure that the person who writes his checks ain't got a daughter, sister, cousin, brother, mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause all
Right.
they gonna, they gonna
But
cut
when
that.
that shit hit
Be all right
home, you
then.
look at shit different.
That's a fact.
When it hit
That's a fact.
home, you look at it
Unless
totally different.
unless you already rich like Bill Cosby,
Right.
because
Yo,
he got out.
Dollar Bill said, "What about Wendy Williams?"
We
Well,
can't. I mean,
Wendy's more of a gossip chick that sometimes she's been known to exaggerate, but I don't think we can't put her in the same lines as R. Kelly and Bill Cosby because she hasn't physically hurt anybody. She may attack somebody's mental and fuck with somebody psychologically, but she ain't put hands on nobody. Like it's no little boy around here talking about, oh man, she threw some shit in my drink or she hollered at me when I was 13. She ain't got none of that. She just basically putting shit that shit that hit the nigga net, and she just putting it out there. You know?
um, and
Yeah.
to your point, Wendy would be like rappers that
Hmm.
that talk that hood shit, right? Like,
Right.
yeah, it's not good. You know what I'm saying? It's probably a lot
Hmm.
of it is bad for the community at times,
Hmm.
but people enjoy it, so people support it, and and as long as we allow that, that is what that is. That's always going to be in the cycle. So yeah, Wendy Williams. Listen again. I go back from Wendy Williams to whoever Snoop Dogg done sold. Listen, the amount of drugs, guns, shoot like the music that Snoop has made. Right, Snoop beat a murder charge. You know what I'm saying? Like this was cool. Like, oh, you beat your murder charge? That's what's up. Oh, buy some more records. Matter of fact, dead rappers get better promotion. Remember that line? It's real.
Right.
Like for all for raw stuff. Like it's not, you know what I mean? Like so, we always kind of allow some of that stuff to go. You know what I mean?
But
Yeah,
I guess cancel culture to me, it just never really phased me. Like R. Kelly, he did what he did. He needs to face the consequences for it. Bill Cosby, you know, he did what he did. He needs to face the consequences for it. And then when you find out that Bill, a lot of this shit that they had built a case up against him was basically him telling on himself, you know?
hmm
And then they just rolled with it, and he just spent 2 years behind bars while they figured shit out. And now they like, well, we can't really bring that shit up on charges, so now it's like fuck it. But it
Well,
still
okay. I
doesn't.
mean,
It still doesn't take away what he did and the people that he hurt and stuff. So that's fucked up.
but see, nobody you like has act. Nobody you really like has been canceled. Kevin Spacey. You might like Kevin Spacey. You seem like a Kevin Spacey fan. You like Kevin
Yeah,
Spacey?
actually, I do like Kevin Spacey. And
Yeah.
I was just thinking about him the other day because I was like watching what was it, American something, or that one movie where he was a crazy dad and kind of fell in love with the girl, the neighbor, or some shit like that. I can't remember the exact name, but I was watching that. And I was like, damn, whatever happened to Kevin
Oh,
Spacey?
American Beauty.
Yes.
Yeah, which I mean, for as weird as he was in that movie, it kind of works. Like it's like, I can
Hmm.
see it. I think I put it like this. I think that getting canceled now, I mean, it's just about who's going to continue to pay you and who's going to put you on the platform. Because somebody going to watch you somewhere.
Yeah,
They
cause
going to
what's
let
called
stuff go.
the one comedian, didn't he just he's making a comeback?
Louis
God,
C.K.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Louis
his
C.K.
shit was like
was
wild, like he was a wild boy.
the wildest thing about Louis C.K. to me, right? And by the
Hmm.
way, he was just so the world knows what Louis C.K. was doing, he was inviting women in for like casting and stuff, and then like stroking himself in front of them, like just like on
Yeah.
some wild shit. But if you ever listen to comedians talk about him, because they love him,
Hmm.
right? So like they really be defending it, like listen, he wasn't that bad. He just like yo, but I just put the titty out, and he just was gone. You know, I didn't care. We went back to eating dinner. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, because that's your
And,
man's.
and you know what really
But
scares me about the whole cancel culture is like, I mean, when the shit happens, you always you don't want to question anybody, but you always sit back and think like, yo, what's your motivation behind it? Like,
mm,
like. Cause I mean, we all have heard stories like the young guy that was messing with the girl and she hollered rape and he ended up doing time in jail and lost out on a football career and all of this because she just wanted to. She had an attitude, and it's like like damn, what it where. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say somebody willingly went to a casting call with dude and was like, if he pulls it out or whatever, he gets me a role, I'll forget about it or whatever and shit. I don't know, man. See, I'm kind of old school. I question everything. I'm questioning everybody because you just don't, because people got
okay,
their own different sides of the truth. And just like how Isaiah said, Johnny Depp got canceled before everything came out. It was just waiting to
that is
cancel
true.
him.
They did Depp dirty. Like
Hmm.
they did Depp dirty. He was losing Disney contracts. They did Depp dirty. It
Yeah,
was
cause
bad.
we all know,
Um,
a woman scorn is bad, but a motherfucker that's on some old vindictive shit, man, it could get ugly,
yeah,
ugly
that's
like
special.
quick.
That was. I think that when we think about kind of some of those cases, and if see the world
Yeah,
says
Clarence,
you're
you
just
right.
supposed to. Let me ask this. So the world will say just believe the victim,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
Kind of don't question it. Just believe the victim, even though the law says you're innocent until proven guilty, right?
Hmm.
So it gets kind of mucky depending, on how it's played out. Listen, you're not of this era, so you probably don't care as much. But just talking to people when Megan Stallion got shot and you had half the world ready to cancel, um, Tory Lanez,
Hmm.
right? Just that quack. Oh wait, did he shoot her in the foot? He says he didn't shoot her in the foot, but they said he did. He's still out.
Hell,
Don't nobody know what to think.
hell, I didn't even know who he was until that happened.
That's
Yeah, I
deep.
had no idea.
That's deep.
I had to Google the guy, and I was like, oh, I think I heard that before and stuff. And then just not knowing,
Mm.
I don't know. It's just, and it's like you don't want to speak out on stuff like this because we know people on the internet go hard for who they love. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely. It's
regardless
frowned
of
upon.
what regardless, you could be totally right about a person, but if their fan base is on some old stand shit, you don't stand a chance. But
Okay,
Clarence
so
is
you
right.
think
You
that
shouldn't
some
be pulling
people
no pistol on no chick. Period. You should be pulling a pistol on nobody. You use them hands first, or just remove yourself from the conflict.
absolutely. I don't know if the question is whether the question is that we don't know that people don't know what happens. That's
Hmm.
where it makes it gray, right? When nobody knows what really happens, and there's two completely different sides of how that story went, right? It starts to get kind of like um Isaiah said, but let's talk about Cardi drugging, raping and stealing from dudes, and jokes about it. She blowing up, and because he a dude, he should just take it. Interesting. And
Yeah.
now, and I ain't gonna hold you. Isaiah is right. That story did come out
Hmm.
where Cardi, it see like you worked in that, you worked in the industry with dancers.
Hmm.
Um, and sometimes like it was funny because even when you was giving the example of a woman who was trying to sleep her way to the top, or somebody was trying to sleep their way to the top, right?
Hmm.
That's even though it's not right. Clarify.
Right.
um it's still consensual. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like it's not right, but how does that fall now? And there's a difference between, not for nothing, she coming in there with the goal of, and then he's the fool, the sucker who's
Hmm.
about to you know put her in this position that she can't
Right.
handle because of that, or put or on the other end where he's intimidating her to do it, which is a completely different circumstance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even though they
Because
fall into the same bucket of him being wrong because he in power.
put like this,
um
from what Cardi explained, that was something that definitely happened, and it's probably still happening. It's like the thing about strippers, I would have to say, is like strippers are masters at detection. Like strippers will
Okay.
make great detectives because they can peep out people in the room and just like they notice little things. Like even when I was
Hmm.
running with running with the crew, they would point out certain things that as a guy I didn't pay it no mind. Like how you got the dudes that come in there with the big wads of money, but he got a cheap watch on, or he got a fake watch on.
Mm,
And like they
mm,
peep stuff like that out. Like I would just look at it and be like, oh, okay, it looks like a nice watch. I didn't know it was more plastic than titanium or whatever and shit. And then they peep out like shit from the shoes and just the way a person that truly has money to blow carries himself versus somebody who's flashing on a budget. And
mm.
I didn't really realize that. I thought like, okay, if you got a stack, you got a stack, two fistfuls of money, I figure you come to blow it. Strippers would tell me, but like, nah, he's showing off. He trying to catch the stripper that don't know and thinks she gonna get that money, and then he gonna run game on. So
Hmm.
I seen that, and I seen where certain guys come in and they go to the champagne room, and they come out like they got to be carried out. And I'm like, damn, just off a bottle of champagne? Like, but he was just drinking scotch out here. People was getting drugged and shit, because you be so happy you got titties in front of you. And, you know, like I said, strippers can read, a very talented stripper can read a motherfucker. And
Mm,
their whole job is about fantasy. So they know what you want to hear before you even know you want to hear it. They will
mm.
say some shit to you, have you forgetting your girlfriend, your wife, and everything for them 5 to 7 minutes that song's on. Had your whole world
Right.
fucked up. So when she said that, I thought for sure she was going to be canceled. But like you said, when with the way the money was flowing, the people that was paying her basically was on some old like, yo, we could let this slide because this is before she got with us,
So
So
do
we
you
gonna let
think
it
she
ride.
should have been canceled?
Yeah, I think she should have. But then again, there was nobody really came forward and said I was one of the guys that she got like that because nobody wants that
That's
embarrassment.
true.
So pretty much, I mean, if she did that and it could be proven, she should be canceled. But it'd never be proven because no dude is gonna come out and say she got me or I got. You know what I mean? And unless she set a motherfucker up to be robbed and got pistol whipped or something like that. But ain't no dude coming out
Well,
saying that.
and I'm gonna keep it a buck, even to
Mm-hmm.
that to that premise. And Isaiah said facts on that. Is before she got on. Now she kind of got enough money to make things go away.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Hey, listen, I'm not you right here educating me. I take it. Listen, I'll take it. But yeah, I think she kind of got enough money to make things go away right now. So I don't even think that would even be a possibility at
Oh yeah,
this
nah.
point.
Nah, she's way too hot now. I mean, and she's breaking records. Like, she got like two of her videos have hit like 1 billion streams on YouTube and stuff. Like, sis is in the books. She's in the books. And and until she does something that stirs the right media person the wrong way, that's what's gonna happen. I mean, she gonna be all right.
I'm I don't see her doing that. Her she got good publicists. But
Yeah.
back to your who determines who cancels who
Mm-hmm.
conversation, right?
Yeah.
In that theory, um, are there people who can't get canceled? Is that a thing? Like, you can't really cancel this person; they're too big.
Mm. Bill Cosby was big, but he was big to our generation, not the newer generation that pretty much started that started the steam off. Because another thing, when Bill Cosby shit came up, I had no idea who the fuck a Hannibal Burgess was. I had no idea. No idea. And then,
Mm,
like I said, once it came up, I'm one of the ones I like to go back and do some footwork. So I figured when it first came out, I was like, oh, this nigga jealous or something. Maybe Bill didn't help him out with something. But then, you know, seeing how it came out in one of his acts, it was like, oh, okay, and shit. And it had to be genuine because he didn't really blow up behind it. I mean, his name is known, but really see that motherfucker getting the roles like Lil Rel got. You know,
Yeah,
yeah.
although I need Lil Rel to get some more roles. He kind of quieted up too, but I think well, see, plus new comedians kind of come in waves like that. But
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right, and I'll say this: I actually think that Hannibal Buress, while he might have helped himself initially, I
Mm-hmm.
think he kind of hurt himself big term, like long term, like because Bill is still beloved by a lot of people in the black community. Like that,
Right.
even the people who say, listen, like you, like what you said, he belongs in jail, but his his comedic prowess was royalty. Like he
Mm-hmm.
just lives in that in that royal space. So for Hannibal, I don't know if it is necessarily like it might have been lucrative initially, but put it like this. Bill is out, and we don't hear from Hannibal no more. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
He's just a
It
footnote.
was cool for a couple years. Right, right. Felicia Rashad made a couple phone calls, get him out of here. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You
Yeah.
gotta be careful. So I don't know.
But yeah, we definitely live in a time where you definitely gotta watch what you say and be prepared for any and all consequences based on your views, your words, and your outlook and stuff like that.
I yeah, I kind of think. Well, I agree, but like I said, I think getting canceled off of your views is kind of like it. Like you can feel how you want to feel. You might lose some checks. You might
Mm-hmm.
gotta lie. You gotta lie. You know what I'm saying? Like or leave you can just be quiet about how you feel about certain things. Everything ain't for everybody. And I say this. With that said, I think we live in a world where people talk too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like you ain't gotta say something about everything.
Right.
Everything ain't your business. If that ain't got nothing to do with you, so who cares?
Keep it
like
moving.
like like leave them alone.
Keep it moving.
So yeah. I don't think we live in a world where people keep it moving enough, right? Like the opportunity is there to keep it moving. And
And Clarence is
Clarence,
right. You shouldn't lose no checks.
why
I
not?
don't, I don't think you should lose no checks because, put it like this. Like I said, there is what, a 14-year difference between me and you, 14, 15 years, something like that, between me and you.
Probably, probably.
Nigga, I grew up on flicks that if you played it to somebody today, they'll look at it and be like, "Oh my
Yeah,
fucking god!" But like,
black
like
black
my
black exploitation movies. They wasn't
yeah,
ready for that. Like,
I'm not even talking about that. Like, for instance, I was watching. Oh man, I think it was called Soul Man or something like that. It had
mhm,
Ray Dong Chong and Thomas C. Howe, and Thomas C. Howe played a young white guy, a yuppie that his parents decided to kick him off or not carry his or pay for school, so he needed to get a grant, and the only grant that was offered was to minorities. So he basically went blackface in the whole fucking movie,
yeah,
playing like he was a brother. And Ray Dong Chong, I think somehow, some way, she was the one that was supposed to get that money till he put his name in the hat, and then it just worked out to be a whole story. Her exposing him, and then they fall in love and shit like that. That shit was hilarious back in the '80s because we really didn't look at Thomas C. Howe in blackface. It was just
right.
a white guy playing black. I'm watching that, and my kid sister, through my girlfriend, she looked at me like, "How could you watch this shit?" Like, well, she didn't say shit, but she's looking at me
Right.
like totally offended, like totally offended. And another thing, matter of fact, I'll tell you this: before I got with my girl, I was dating this chick. Probably was like 10 years, 10 years, about maybe 10, 15 years difference between us two. And I was watching Animal House.
Okay.
She
Classic.
thought that was the most triflingest ass white based movie ever. Now I'm like, I say white based because it wasn't no blacks in Animal House, but the humor was crude, rude, and just strictly lowbrow. Shit was hilarious to me in the '70s. She was totally offended by it. Like, y'all can make this shit now. Now what? Now if cancel culture had their way, are we gonna go back? We're gonna cancel Bill Murray. We're gonna cancel, Dan Aykroyd. We're gonna cancel all these comedians that had these questionable
No, again,
moves.
you don't. The questionable stuff don't wind up getting canceled. Put it like this. Okay, so there's two.
They had
So
to
so there's a
actually
couple
do
different things.
something to somebody,
He
and
had to
somebody
do
has to come
something.
out and
Listen,
say,
I
"I was hurt."
I grew up watching Dame Dash pop bottles and pour them on women on yachts. That's what he was doing.
Mhm.
Okay, just pouring
And doing the whole
Dawn Perignon. Yeah, yeah, right. Like that was like, and everybody loved it. He was like, hey, we want to do this when we grow up. So I don't know if
and Nelly was taking credit cards and swiping it down girls' asses
swiping
and
it
shit.
straight through the cheeks. You know what I'm saying? Now again, and by the way, willing participants, life is different, right?
Mhm.
Um, and okay, and so that happens. The only thing about when people say should they lose checks, and the reason why I listen, if you lose checks, you lose checks, and it sucks. But to me, who pays you? If you don't own it yourself, you should expect to be able, like you, they're gonna have their own parameters on what they choose to pay and what's conduct unbecoming. Like, come
Mhm.
on now, we know how that works. I get bothered when people give different apply courtesies to people who are making millions of dollars that don't apply to the common man who is working.
Right.
Right? Like real rap. You and I both have, no matter just because and I work for a corporate entity and you work contractually in your world. We both have things that say conduct unbecoming,
Mhm.
right? So why would I be shocked if this person who's getting millions of dollars has in their contract of conduct unbecoming? Who's paying you? Unless you own your own stuff. If you own your own stuff, that's completely different. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Then you can cater to an audience who's rocking with what you rock with. But if you know you got to deal with the masses, I hate to say it, but then that means you got to play politically to the masses, or you're gonna lose some sponsors. That's money. What you want to do? That's how I see it. Like, who pays you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Put like this: you'll still watch Mel Gibson, or might not have a problem with Hulk Hogan or whatever. Like, whatever the case
Mhm.
may be. I don't know if you hiring them. You know what I'm
Nah,
saying? Like, there's a difference. There's a difference. Like,
not in my
I ain't
budget
cutting this
right
nigga a
now.
check. I ain't about to pay you. Okay. You know what I'm saying? If I was about to pay somebody who do what you do, pay somebody who ain't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's just how the checks work. But let me get to this comments real quick. We're about to wrap it up soon, I think.
Mhm.
Don't want to be that dude, but you gotta have legal counsel before you talk. If when you're not a celeb, yes, if you're a celebrity, or if you are on the screen, you do
Mhm.
need legal counsel. I agree with you 100%. Right?
Right.
If you are talking to the masses because you have political connects. Like, you got business, you got money. So I agree. You're right. You don't want to lose these checks. Clarence said, folks, like you said, are entirely too sensitive. Period. To give someone the power to fuck my money because they don't like what a ninja says. Get the fuck out of here. They've always had that. They've
N-
always had that. It's just about how it works and who cares,
Now
right? It's Go ahead.
let me ask you this. Like we talked about Bill Cosby, we talked about R. Kelly, but
Hmm.
there's an elephant in the room that we haven't spoken about who has been on tape making accusations and how he feels about women, gays, and this and that. And he has such a large following, it's almost like he can't fucking be touched. He can incite riots on capitals. He can say elections are false. But as much as people tried to cancel him, certain people come out the woodworks and they like, yo, they defended him with tiki torches and everything and shit, you know? And that puzzles me because actually I have a friend that we work together, and I always looked at him like a little brother. Like I first took him to the strip club when he was 18. I we are really really close, but we stand on two different sides of the streets when it comes to this particular individual.
Hmm.
And yes, this
Mm.
guy is white. He's a young white guy, and I'm an older black guy. But like I said, before this person came into the picture, when he was just a failed business person that was just, bankruptcy after bankruptcy after bankruptcy, my boy is totally hypnotized by this guy. He feels that the election he was robbed. He was the best thing for our country. He did no wrong, and grabbing chicks by the pussy is totally
Mm.
cool. But Yet he looks at the predecessor like, how did this guy get in it? I don't even think he's American. You hear how his name is and shit like that. So I'm like, we don't even have that discussion because I told him in order for us to maintain the friendship we have, you got to keep that shit to yourself. Because I'm like, if we put the accolades and failures of both men on a piece of paper, who you think's going to look worse? The guy who married his college sweetheart and has 2 adorable kids with him, or the guy that was fucking everything going with his daddy's money and got about 4 or 5 different baby mamas? You
Oof.
know, it's ugly.
So,
That's what puzzles me about the whole cancel culture. I'm like, okay, so this motherfucker ran the country. He ran the
mm,
country, and
hmm
he alienated us with some of our closest allies. He did what he felt like he wanted to. He's like a fucking baby, and he was very immature and got really little scary hands too. That's just, he always has really scary hands. That's
his
just,
strong hand is really
yeah,
like this. He got
yeah.
my strong
He
hand.
looked like the guy from Chris Elliott when he was on the show with the small. Yeah, this shit
With
is.
my strong hand. All
Yeah,
right.
but
So
like
okay.
Isaiah said, he has a following, but the following, like, damn, are they fucking stupid? I don't
So
get it.
okay. Wait.
Okay, go ahead.
So
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna go here first, right?
Okay.
There's two things at play here.
Uh-huh.
There's who pays you,
Uh-huh.
right? Because remember, that's why I said anybody who we talking about that don't want to lose checks gotta be independent in how they get their own money. Because then your following can pay you, and you don't. It doesn't matter what y'all talking about. You cancel me if you want to. The people who like me gonna pay me. So all
Uh-huh.
that you talking about don't matter, right? He lived in that world. He's also, for lack of a better way to word it, he's a marketing genius. He's a
Uh-huh.
marketing genius, or his team is. I'll say that. His team, he had a team of marketing geniuses
Uh-huh.
that knew how to put him in the right places at the right time and to market to the people who ain't us. And I don't mean us as in black people, I just mean us with people in mind state like me and you. They could market to people who were kind of open to things that shouldn't have been debatable.
Uh-huh.
But that's what happened. He got placed in front of him. What is the first thing he do? He said, "Fake news. Hey, it's fake news. Don't believe none of that." Right. So everything that you talk about, he told them not to believe. Okay. So how can
And they
again you
believed
can't?
it.
It's hard to cancel me. It's hard for you to cancel me if whenever they telling you, I'm telling you, it's that's not true. They lying, and I'm lying to you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how he worked. You know what I'm saying? So he told, don't believe nothing that they saying. I don't care if they got proof. I don't care nothing, but don't listen. We already here. You see, listen. You see, if that was the case, I wouldn't be here. You see, I ain't locked up, right? You see,
Right.
he one of those type of motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nigga, you did it. I mean, all right, you right. You know what I'm saying? And he played that game. He had money. He had enough money to fight them. So it's hard to cancel some. Like again, the money. Money is what makes canceling happen or not. And he
Uh-huh.
had his own. Then he cultivated his own following. So he could be on there making jokes about mentally disabled people. He could be in there talking about
Which he did.
disrespect to women blatantly.
Which
He
he
did.
has
This
done.
is why I'm naming this stuff.
Uh-huh.
I'm blatantly naming these things because of that. He listen when he told the others. Listen, he said stand down and all that. Listen, he was like he was giving bird calls and everything. Like this is like yo like that was all acceptable because oh no, it wasn't like that. Really? It's just never like that with you. Okay. And his fan base believed it because he had enough money to put behind it to kind of write the story different.
Uh-huh.
Listen, that's all it is. When you got enough money, you can write the story different. And that's what they do. You gotta have enough money to buy your way your bullshit.
Buy your
That's a
way your
horrible moral of
bullshit.
the story.
Isaiah, that's
That's a
another
horrible
catchphrase too. Buy away your bullshit.
bullshit. But it's a horrible term, but it's the truth. Like if you listen, if you got enough money, you can buy away that. That's I ain't we done seen it happen time and time again.
Yeah.
Got enough money in power, little influence. Oh man, you all right? You can buy your way out of that. You know what I'm saying? But all right, I think it's about time.
Yeah.
I think we knocked this out.
You ready
Yeah,
to spit
dude was
something
throwing
to.
paper towels. Isaiah said dude was throwing paper towels. That's the truth.
Oh,
Yes, yes,
he
I'm
was
ready
saying
to.
Kobe.
He was not saying don't.
Yeah.
We're not. No, he did not say Kobe. He wasn't. He wasn't.
But
He should have. Like that.
I do remember him throwing paper towels at people in Puerto Rico when they got Island got the
Yeah,
smile.
he did. He was like, get it. Oh wait, hold up. Give me another one. Give me another one. Ah. got him. Oh, did he catch it? Oh, got him. Like, yes, he did that. So anyway, yeah, I need. Should I solicit a word or should I just go off the topic for the day?
Man,
What
you
you
can go
think?
off the topic. You can
Okay.
definitely go off the
All right.
topic.
So all right. So I'm gonna do my spoken word. Um, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. All right, hold on. Let me do it this way then, cause why? Oh, okay. You just had to. I don't know if I was ready for that. You don't even care, do you, Tuck? You just go ahead and put me on a big screen. All right, fine.
Yep.
We here there.
All day, every day. You going right back on it too.
Wow, disrespect. All right, that's cool. Um, okay. Hello, world. It's your boy GDash. So, life according to Uncle Tuck had a phenomenal episode. Today we talked about cancel culture. BOREDINDE.com. Go ahead /shop. Go and cop yourself a keychain or something like that. DEXDE.net. Go ahead, buy yourself a book. Check out some of my content and buy yourself a book. Day by Day, Volume 1, The Willing. Shouts out to everybody who we cooking with. All right. So my word is cancel culture. That's the topic. 'Cause that's what we talked about. So I'm gonna do a little spoken word, a little improv situation about cancel culture. All right. I'm thinking living life watching these cancellations is funny to me because obviously it ain't nothing but about money to me. I mean, truthfully, who they choose to cancel and who they choose not to is something that can't be answered by me. But obviously, from what I can see, it's all about, well, maybe more than money, but who can move kind of influentially. Oh, because you say the wrong thing against the LGBT. Let me watch my mouth because I ain't trying to have them cancel me. All I'm saying is, okay, some people move in squads and they make things happen quickly. I watched Nick Cannon say the wrong thing about homie with the yarmulke and he was ready to hit him with the semi to his career. All of a sudden he could take it away and then they gave it back as long as you can apologize properly and when they say, listen here, right? And I'm not saying that it's right or wrong because I'm not here to judge either way, but I understand that the question is always watch who pays you if you want to know where that check is going to come from on a daily basis, right? Because people will say stuff and whatever you happen to say in your household amongst your common faces doesn't mean that that's going to be okay. It doesn't mean that they won't put you on a disgrace list. I watched the whole team being taken away because that white man hated the color of my faces. Okay, I seen it. Okay, we've watched it. They don't play these games depending on who's on top of it, depending on who's the one rocking with it, depending on how they choose to or choose not to acknowledge it. So we can try to pick and choose where it's going to come from, and we can act like we just going to play dumb. But those who are in power will equal in evil cancellation, even if we feel like it's the wrong way. Oh well, they're going to make sure they take away all the pay. Ask Bill Cosby. It's not a game. Right? So whether we think it's okay or whether we think it's insane, that's not up for me to judge. You can decide that. I just know I'm not trying to get canceled because I need a couple checks and I ain't trying to do none of that. You heard me? That's it. I'm just trying to get this money, trying to be a good person. You hear me? I don't need these problems. All right? It's your boy G Dash. I'm done. That's it. You know what I mean? Life according to Uncle Tuck. We'll be back in 2 weeks talking about some other foolishness. We will be back Saturday. What, 12 to 2? With the
Actually,
cleanup
nah,
mix.
because I'm still working on that laptop, so we may not be back until Monday.
So we'll be back Monday. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My fault. We'll be back Monday
Yeah.
from 8 to 10 with the R&B soul mix. All right.
And then
It's your boy
Wednesday be 8
G-Dash.
to 10, and then the following Saturday we'll be back noon to 2. And Uncle Tuck is every other Thursday. So next Thursday, nothing. You get us the following Thursday. And G, do we got a topic for that yet, man?
For the following top for the following one is when who's off limits, right? Like
Okay.
if you in a breakup, who should be off limits? Like if you stop dealing with somebody, you know.
Oh yeah, you really trying to get me talking about shit, ain't
Hmm?
you? Ain't you? You
Hmm?
really trying to get me talking about shit, ain't you?
I just want to know about life according to Uncle Tuck.
See, G, y'all don't pay G no mind. G up to some shit. But
I just want to
we gonna
understand life
enjoy it
according
though.
to Uncle Tuck.
We
What's
gonna
the show
enjoy it though.
about?
Yeah.
This is life according to Uncle Tuck. I'm trying to listen. You schooling me? I just want to learn. Yo, that picture is hilarious.
Yo, and it's
Oh
crazy because somebody hit me up just like, yo, is he really your nephew? I was like, yo,
Listen,
the way I used to always son this cat, like shit, you would think so.
yeah, like see the world don't know about that. The world don't
Oh, they gonna
understand that.
find out since
Like,
we talking about everything.
listen, that's it. Listen, listen. This nigga used to give me noogies in the middle of everybody. Like he can't. I was grown ass man. Just walk the hey, we are at work, sir. I have
But
on a
hey,
suit.
man, it was all out of love, man. You was like that cool ass little brother. You know what I mean?
So you gave me noogies in front of people who I might have been cool in front of from time to time.
Hey, but you know, I was the unofficial mayor. They expected shit like that. And actually, a lot of
They
people
did.
was
They
glad
did.
that you was getting that attention and not them.
That's a fact, but I can handle it. Like we was
Hey,
cool. Like I wasn't. I don't know. We not gonna do this today. All right, we out, y'all. See, here you go. You know what I'm saying? We about to get us into some whole other stuff again. All right.
oh man, it's been great, man. Thanks everybody for tuning in. All right, until then, I'm Uncle Tuck. That's GDash. We'll see y'all later.